You can't be lying. We've been here. We shooting all this shit in one damn sitting. Girl, I was just sitting here waiting for the next episode. Oh my gosh!
Welcome back, cousins, to another episode of the Cuzn Collective. It's your girl, Monet.
I'm your girl, Capri, in the place to be. Ew. Y'all know I used to be Countess Vaughn's twin. You know Countess Vaughn?
Yes, the girl.
Dang, mama. So every time I do that, I think about her. I can't pop it like I used to. The girl old, okay? She getting old. She about to be 43. I'm about to be 43 soon, yo.
No way, girl. I can't keep up no way.
If
my kids tell me, they be like,
I do some stretches.
no, mama.
Alright, cousins. So we're going to talk about love languages. But wait a minute. We're going to talk about, well, at least we're going to attempt to talk about, because our conversations can go all over the place sometimes. How it exists outside of a romantic relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Marriage or whatever. Because that's where most people tend to place love language, mm-hmm. in a romantic relationship. But how do those things spill over into your regular everyday life? That's what I want to know.
Well, first of all, let me just say this.
I don't even remember how this came up.
Because we talked about how I didn't even hear anything about love language until like a couple years ago. I didn't know what that was.
Oh, okay.
And a couple years ago, the only thing that I've always heard of it being applied to was romantic relationships.
Oh, yeah.
Boyfriend and girlfriend,
yeah, that's
whatever.
Like how they market it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when I told you about me reading a book one time, and I was like, love language don't just apply to your marriage or your mm-hmm. intimate relationship. Like, it literally does apply to everybody.
Right.
Your children, your friends.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, when we think about the word, I mean, I guess, like, I don't know if you use the word love language, but, like, you know, your coworkers you build relationships with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want to call them your friends, but you have relationships with them.
Right.
You know, your grandparents, your parents, like,
yeah.
it really literally applies to everybody.
And I remember we were having a conversation not too long ago, too. And I don't remember it'll probably come back to me the more I talk, but I was talking to you about something. And I was like, do you feel like that is something that you need in your everyday life? You remember that conversation?
Oh, yeah, it was about,
what was it?
Me needing reassurance or something. Like,
Yes.
Me needing
like
somebody to say, good job.
Yeah. And I asked her, do you need that? Do you think you need that all the time? And you were like, you didn't think you do.
Maybe not in that aspect. Like,
not
good
so
job.
Intense.
But
you did a bake-up job. I know what they don't do.
But yes,
yeah.
I do need that, and that is one of the love languages, and that's me. That's my number one.
And I had this conversation with one of my other friends, BFFs. The other was it last weekend we went out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, last weekend, and she made a good point because so you know that you have the different love languages. You have the affirmation, the gifts,
mm-hmm.
physical touch,
acts of service,
and quality time. Right. So I asked her that, you know, we were talking about this, and she said, well, I don't know as far as friendships. She said, I don't know that I require those types of things for my friends. And so she had to really think about what she does require from her friends outside of loyalty and consistency, I believe, are her two things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, but isn't that's not a physical like act, like giving gifts or Well, neither are affirmations. So I was like, I could see that falling, and it's just because probably no one has ever explored deeper into the love language outside of it being a romantic, a romantic relationship. But I was like, loyalty and consistency, I would kind of put those. What did I say? I would put those under acts of service.
No, I think it was affirm, like, right? No, I don't remember.
I think I said I'll put it on the acts of service though, because it can't be quality time. Obviously, it's not physical. It's not gifts. And affirmation.
Wait,
I kind of feel. I did say I would personally put it under acts of service. I did say that. And
I guess it depends on how you look, because that's another thing. Like, it might be different, look differently to someone else.
Right. But I do think that they need to update this and give us a new category. We need a new category. So until they give us a new category, I'm putting it under acts of service because it is an act of service. Being loyal is an act.
It's an act, but I won't say it's an act of service.
It's
an
a service. Shit. Oh, you can bleep that out. Look,
she making this. I'm just playing, y'all. But I understand what you're trying to say. I truly do.
I mean, if I had to put it under, okay, so if I had to put it under any of those, it just seems to be the most logical one, because you have, okay, so I gotta look this up. I could have put this in my notes, but I didn't.
I actually have a screenshot it in my phone.
Well, girl.
The descriptions of.
Okay, so I'm just going to go to acts of service. When someone primary love language is acts of service, they feel loved and appreciated. And to me, that's part of I want to feel your loyalty. I want you to be consistent. Consistency, all of that kind of spills over into that. Your consistency could be calling me every day if you're my man.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you don't call me on a consistent basis. But that's I mean, we're gonna use that for the relationship just to make it easier.
Mm-hmm.
If you are my man, and every woman out there knows how we do, and when it comes to patterns, right? So your consistent behavior and however you hold out, however you start out is how you should hold out. That's going to make me feel a certain way. Your lack thereof. Come on, somebody.
We ain't in church either.
Okay. But I mean, to me, just out of all of the categories, I really do think that they need more. I just feel like, so it basically on this particular website, when someone's primary love language is acts of service, they feel loved and appreciated. When people do nice things for them, being loyal and being consistent. Loyalty, we know what it is, but there are things within being loyal and being consistent. You can do nice things for people
because you have to show that you're loyal.
You have to show that, right? There's actions that have to be taken to show that you're loyal, to show that you're consistent, and that consistency thing could be if you're in a relationship. This is easier to explain in a relationship. It's flowers every week.
Mm-hmm.
That's something nice. That's consistency.
But that's gift. Receiving gift though.
Okay, a text message every morning. Hey, beautiful. Thinking about you.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I get what you're saying, but it's something else. Like it's got to be somebody got to create another category.
So how is
acts of services? Let me vacuum that for you because you
that part too. Okay,
let me wash your car for
consistency.
you.
Let's talk about marriages. When your husband need to help you around the house, right? Consistency. If he's consistent in helping you do those things around the house, that's going to make you feel a certain way.
Right.
That's going to make you feel appreciated, right?
So then I guess the question is like with your friend.
Mm-hmm.
If loyalty, and she said loyalty and consistency,
but we were talking about friendships, but still.
So yeah, in friendships. So my question to her would be, but what shows you that?
That's
because
the question.
I can't just say I'm loyal to you. I'm consistent. Like what do people have to do to
what
show
do I
that?
do to show you it falls?
Yeah.
But I still think like Yeah, so I guess it depends. It depends on. So it can go back and forth to acts of service and what was that?
All of it.
Words of affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, for quality time.
I mean, you ain't physically touching me.
I don't want to consistently be physically groped. I'm sorry.
I'm just playing.
But yeah, so I just feel like those things can be. Now when we either further broke it down, you really can put them, spread them across. It just depends on what you're getting, what action, right? What action is being taken to show that you're meeting that standard. So we couldn't get to that part because I was just like, I just still feel like those two words, those two things, display love language. They're still part of love language. It's just probably
you gotta dig deeper.
Yeah, you just gotta figure out how. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so
but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, right? Because again, most people really ain't really been talking about love languages for a long time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of fairly new to a lot of people. Yeah. So we're used to being surface people when it comes to relationships and love and things of that nature. So
like a lot of people just read what's here and be done.
Yeah, or like your friend, loyalty and consistency. Okay, so
because she was actually saying that she didn't need love language in her relationships outside of a romantic relationship, out of her friendships. And she was like, because all I require are these two things. But I'm like, isn't that not part of love language? So she didn't believe it was part of a love language. So that's where that was. And I was just like, I was like, it is. I don't know how right now.
It takes one of these to confirm it.
Now we're here. You see this, boo? So yes, this is. So it could literally go across the board. It really can go across the board.
You just gotta dig deeper.
Yeah.
Because my definition of someone, because I require loyalty too, but the way I receive loyalty could be totally different than her.
Exactly.
So it has to dig deeper to whatever. And honestly, I've never dug deep to even know for real what I feel like from my friends or those connected to me outside of my marriage. How do I feel loyalty?
How do you feel?
I gotta do some digging. I need to reflect.
I really
do some self-reflection.
I really do too.
I really don't know. Just don't.
Don't just be disloyal. I know when you. For me, just being honest, because I mean honesty, loyalty, all of that stuff. At the end of the day, if we have a good foundation to our friendship, or even relationship, whatever. Just don't do me wrong.
Yeah.
Like, don't be out there lying on me. Don't be out there, if you my friend, trying to get with my whatever, don't be disrespecting me or my family, just the negative things. So it's just like, and then you show up. Showing up shows loyalty. When you're at the lowest of I got loyal people in my camp. I say that like I'm a thug. But I have, my friends are loyal.
But yeah, I think it does definitely go into different relationships. Going back to the children from the last episode. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, again, whenever I was reading this book, I was like, dang. It does apply to kids, because you think about when people say like, I don't parent each child the same because each child requires something different. I do say. Why? Because, I mean, I know, I guess love language, right?
Right.
Like, and it's a realization for me, or a moment for me I need to sit down with my kids and communicate with them and help them understand what love language really means on their level.
Right.
But then truly being more observant.
Right.
And
that's
understanding
the part.
What it takes for my kids to feel loved.
That's the part. That is the key that a lot of people are missing, is understanding that person that you should be giving that love to.
Yeah.
Like we said before in the previous episode, and if you didn't see it, go get our very first episode. We'll link it below. But we discussed. Is he not him? What was I about to say?
We were talking about the children.
What was I about to say?
I don't know.
This is a problem.
Sorry.
I can't be doing this. Oh, we discussed the different the different styles of
disciplinary
love.
or
No, just a love. Like some kids equate love as gifts.
yeah.
Some kids, we were talking about how basically feeling neglected.
Yeah.
Right? And we do assume that buying things, that every child is a gifter.
Yeah.
Is a giftee. Is that right? Yeah. Is a giftee. And that's just not the case. So it just all boils down to just being able to learn that person or those people who are in your life. And then, if to me, I'm not, we can also talk about this in the workplace, but that's a lot.
Well, right now we don't have a workplace. So.
We don't. To an extent, I feel like you do have to understand how a person works. But I'm not going to be giving my all to people at work. Like, no, I'm not.
No.
But for those people who I care about, it's like, yeah, you really do gotta kind of think about how do they feel loved by me? Because in the previous episode, I was talking about how I told a friend he gonna love you in his own way.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah. You should love her in her way. Yeah.
You need to know what her love language is.
Yeah.
Now, I took my did I send that to you?
Your love language?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I took my love language and it was y'all.
It's interesting.
It was interesting. I kinda knew. Do you have it?
Okay. As it relates to my kids, I can go back on that. Like my kids, my oldest, her love language is food. And I know it, like I see it in her eyes when I cook. It's like I've done the best thing in the world for her. Versus.
So what do you think that falls under? Acts of service?
I wonder if it's acts of service. Yeah, just a certain type of act of service. Now my youngest, she still loves hugs and kisses.
Oh,
she wants you to hold her hand and walk her to the bus stop. She wants you to walk her to class. Those things. She's a physical touch. Not so much quality time because they be in their rooms. But I think it's physical touch for her, and somewhat quality time because she always want to go where I go.
She does.
All the time. Does. So I guess for her it's quality time and physical touch, and for my oldest it's acts of service.
I think that was the top my top one. It was acts of service. I already knew that. I remember how it went. It went acts of service, affirmations, physical touch was like 13%. It was horrible. It was
I got you beat, so I ain't judging.
And gifts was 0. This does not mean I don't like gifts. It's just not a way that I feel like people need to show me that they love me.
Yeah.
Or that they care. I do feel like when you do something, and I don't know if this came from me being a single mother, but when you do something to take the stress or the weight of the world off of me, I love you. My point is that like that to me means more because I guess of my life, right? So yeah. And affirmations, for me, it's not necessarily, it was more of the appreciation part of it, right? I don't necessarily need someone to tell me that I'm doing a good job. I don't. I really don't. I could, because it's like, I know. I know. And I'm literally my own cheerleader. Like, I'm very self-motivated. I've always been that way, so I don't necessarily need someone, but I do especially if I go out of the way for you. Like, you don't have to like, oh my God, thank you. You know what I'm saying? But acknowledge it. Don't give me your ass to kiss, basically, because that's not going to be good in the long run. But yeah, physical touch, that was funny to me. Physical touch was hilarious. I do remember it being 13%. I don't know what I did with that. I thought I screenshotted it.
So my number one is words of affirmation, as we said earlier. And mine ain't necessarily, you doing a good job, girl. It ain't necessarily
you doing a good job, girl. You doing
but let
a
me
good
tell you,
job.
I like to be appreciated too. I think that's what it is. And every now and then a little, I appreciate you for fill in the blank. Thank you for fill in the blank. And mine is more so like, don't just think I'm supposed to do what I'm doing for you.
Right.
I don't care if it's spouse, kids, parents,
this is a
whatever.
fringe benefit.
You know, like, and then I am one of them people who do like to be encouraged and uplifted as well. I grew up with a low self-esteem, so I think that kind of plays a part in that. Well, for me,
I kind of wonder why that happens though.
I don't know.
Because you know how sometimes you be like, it's almost like she has to give me a disclaimer when she get ready to say something.
I do.
Cause I just be dying on the inside, like, oh, she about to get mushy. Oh my god. Oh my god. But and I don't know why I just can't. It is hard. A guy I used to date used to tell me, he was like, you need to learn how to take, even the compliments. I'm like, okay, but
now, I don't
need you to compliment me. That's not part of my love language. I don't feel like I should have to. Is that a love language for him?
I don't know, because the compliments to me don't fall under. I'm not looking for compliments.
I'm not looking
either.
for you for compliments.
I think I'm looking for words of affirmation, like.
But that is like compliments.
It is.
It just depends on what type of compliment it is.
It depends on what area, like.
Yeah, but it's just like, for you to tell me, if I get snatched up, hair done, makeup, and it's just like, I don't need you. Trust me, because one thing about women, our hair, when we got our hair done and got on some new shoes and stuff like, our personality gonna change. Period. So we already know. So it's like, if you want to, that's fine, but it's just like, okay, thanks.
That's not your expectation.
That's not my expectation.
So I think it depends on what area. Like, I don't feel like a door's open. But yeah, mine ain't like, I don't need you to compliment me. I want to feel appreciated. There you go.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Just appreciation.
Yeah, don't take advantage. And for me, the way you appreciate me in a relationship is help. Be a help.
So that falls under both then. Well,
it does.
That falls under, so the acts of service make you
feel affirmed.
Yeah. Because my second is acts of service.
Okay. So those are my top two.
Yeah. And then quality time is 17%.
Oh, I forgot about quality time. I don't know where that fell.
It
was third.
Then we're almost the same, because gifts 10%. And physical touch is 7%, y'all. For me, I'm sorry, and it's not that I don't like.
But you have to get. You have to get there.
Yes.
You have to get there.
But I used to be a very touchy-feely person growing up. I used to.
See, I never.
Even if you ask my parents, like, I was always wanting to be touched or lay on them or whatever. The older I got, it's like,
don't touch me. Don't touch me.
I love you, but.
Love me from over there.
But again, like she said, as far as like romantically, yes, all those other things besides gift giving, I'm not really big on that, but those other things lead up to the physical touch.
When it comes to gift giving, for me, I don't mind a gift giving. Don't ask me what I want. But then be thoughtful.
Be spontaneous and thoughtful.
Be thoughtful. Don't come get me some typical stuff. I'm gonna bring you, like, I'm not impressed by expensive things. Right. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not impressed at all. I'm not impressed by anyone's finances. It takes a lot to impress me. And the things that impress me are not tangible. So I like thoughtful gifts. It could be something that you made. It's just like thoughtful. I try. It's hard for me to give gifts to people, and I oftentimes miss birthdays and Christmases and stuff, people that I intend to get stuff for, because I'm just like, I really don't know what I want to get this person, but I just feel like for me, I just can't give a gift
just because.
Just for the, you know, it needs to have some thought behind it.
That's me.
It just needs to have some thought behind it.
Otherwise, I just feel like you're just doing it out of routine, and it's like
right, and that goes for everything. That goes for friendships, whatever. So, but I think I'm working ahead of time this year. But I'm not. Yeah, gifts. Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, though. There are times where I love when my husband spontaneously brings home my favorite things from the grocery store, gas
What's
station.
your favorite thing?
Yeah, like.
Right.
Cause like you're right. I'm not a gift. I don't care about jewelry.
Right.
I don't care about designer bags like that.
Yeah.
Designer shoes. It's like
I got you some new.
I can spend that money on something else.
Right.
But I do like when he come home and bring me my white chocolate Hershey bar or my soda, and then that's it. It makes me happy.
I'm gonna give you two. You just gave me two examples of one is in a relationship and one is out of a relationship. Is work. My old manager. I love her to death. Constance. Although there was always an ulterior motive, but Twizzlers. Her and the doctor that I worked with, whenever they wanted to get me to do something, but it was still, they were speaking my love language.
Yeah.
Because they knew that was my favorite candy.
Yeah.
I mean, it still is. I don't eat a lot of it anymore, but like that's my favorite candy. Like strawberry Twizzlers, not the pull aparts. In case for y'all want to send me some at some point, strawberry Twizzlers. Don't be hating on the Twizzlers. If you love Twizzlers, drop it in the comment. If you don't
drop it in the comment.
Forget y'all. Okay, we ain't here for that. We're not here for the disrespect. And I like candy corn.
Yeah,
Say
get down
something.
with the candy corn.
Say something. But yeah, and then the same thing with like literally that would like to come to work and see. I'm talking like that. My doctor would buy the big containers that you would get from like Sam's.
Mm-hmm. You stupid.
Girl, the family packs. But and then the same with, you know, my ex. Like on our first date, he brought me my favorite candy. Like that is an act of service. That's also at some point, that was when we were spending quality time together. He was paying attention to me. Mm-hmm. So that's quality time because he was paying attention to the things that, you know, things you just be talking.
Yeah.
I have a best friend, one of my best friends. I have more than one. She's good for that. Shonda, she is good for that. Like she gifts me out of things that I probably just out of general conversation, and she probably like, this girl ain't gonna never get. And the next thing I know, something come around and I'm like, oh my God, I've been wanting this. Or, you know, I'm gonna get that. It's on my to-do list, and then it goes over my head, and I don't never revisit it.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's and again, nowadays, if you want to give me something, invest into my businesses. That's it. But other than that, it's thoughtfulness. But I don't require it for you to show me that you love me. You show me that you love me through, you know, definitely, obviously actions, which is all it is. But, you know, just being loyal, being honest, being true to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, keeping the stress around me low, respecting my space as I respect yours. You know, just the typical, I literally require the minimum when it comes to any relationship, whether it's my friends or a man, like the minimum. So, like,
yeah.
I require the minimum, but for men, that's hard.
I guess if they're trying to impress.
Is this hard?
And
because
that's because they tend to be,
it's hard,
emotionless, if that makes sense. That's how I'm looking at that. They don't dig deep. They just, again, surface, right? So they just assume that all women want the expensive and it's not.
For me, the ones I just made just ain't the right ones, because whatever. It's just they out here still thoughting and plotting and trying to be trying to put a wool over my eyes. But anyway, I'm gonna stay that way.
I truly think overall, because we now recognize that love language does not just apply to romantic relationships. It applies to all.
And it don't just apply to adults.
Right, everybody.
It applies to everybody in all levels.
I truly encourage y'all, our listeners, and I encourage you to pass this along too. Like, we should really take the time to be a little bit selfless and think about the people in our lives, you know, and really, have you recognized what it takes for them to feel love? If not, ask them. Like, make them think.
Conversation.
Have the conversation with them so that we're not playing a guessing game. Because truthfully, I think that a lot of us are innocently thinking we're hitting the mark and we completely missing it. And have been missing it for years. But the person you're in a relationship with probably don't even know how to tell you, right? Because they feel like they're gonna hurt your feelings. Like, dang, she did this for me because she, whatever, was thinking of me, but or XYZ. But they really don't like it.
Right, I see that all the time.
Yes, people do that all the time. Now, if you can't meet their expectations,
that's a whole other conversation.
I mean, I think there's more than one way for people to feel love, right? Because you have right now 5 love language, right? Like, for me, if I know somebody is a high class gift receiver,
that ain't for me.
That ain't my thing. So I'm gonna go with somebody else.
Listen,
I'm not buying.
They are not for me because I don't even have those things for myself.
Yeah. So
no.
So I think it is really important that we get to know the people that we are in close relationship with and understand their love language.
Right. Out here spending all this darn money. I gotta buy you sneakers every darn week.
And they don't even like sneakers.
I
had somebody buy me sneakers for a gift one year, and I'm like,
no, I mean for like the guy that's the guy that likes the gifts, because you know you got those relationships where you know those men. I mean, and that's typical for most men anyway. They love their sneakerheads, you know. But it's just like I'm like, and I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying like some people really consistently want you to spend money, like you say, high end stuff and. Yeah, I'm gonna have to stay in my lane. That ain't the lane I'll be in.
Right, and like I said, was it the last episode? If you can't meet them expectations, then you need to bounce. This stuff you need to be figuring out in the beginning. I mean, in your other family relationships, you ain't really bouncing on them, but you get to understand people better.
Right.
It's just about being selfless.
To communicate.
Yeah,
you definitely have to communicate.
Yep.
So. Alright. Memories on social media can be hilarious. They can be all kind of things. Like, you know, I used to be a venter on social media. Like, now it gets on my nerves. Because I think what gets on my nerves when people vent on social media is when they vent and then someone comments and then they act like you in my business.
Yeah. You just
social media. This is a worldwide platform.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just like, and then some of my stuff was venting. I used to literally post anything. I didn't care how ratchet, how out of character, how just inappropriate it was. It was just funny to see, even just like, not just the pictures and stuff we posted, but just the things that we used to type. But okay, what's this, 2021? This was 11 years ago. This is just some random thing, girl. I said, if you leave and your breath is still here, that's a damn problem. I'm calling the breath whisperer. Like,
I read that about somebody at work.
I'm sure I was.
She was being subliminal and petty to somebody at the workplace.
Listen, if someone offers you some gum, this for a reason. Just take it.
My here,
girl, because I mean, some people, I remember I used to work at the dentist's office back in the day, and this woman came in with her husband, and she was like on the brink of, like, she was tired of him and his breath. It was a medical problem, but she was just like, I mean, it was funny in the moment because of how she was being so extra. She was like falling all over the counter, his breath and blah blah blah, and y'all gotta fix it. I don't know what's going on, and I'm gonna leave him. Like, she was done. But it was like he had halitosis, but he basically had a rotted root in his teeth when they pulled it. lit up the whole office. But that was something, you know, medical he couldn't handle. But you don't know what's going on with somebody, but sometimes it's just poor hygiene.
Yeah.
So brush your teeth, okay? Chew your gum, you know, keep it fresh. Because some people just be yuck mouthing it and it'll be all up in your face. That's where I be like, I know if I smell it, you smell it. Let's do something about that. Let's do something about that. But okay, guys, so we're going to get out of here. And we will see you guys on the next episode. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to subscribe. Be sure to like our channel. Be sure
to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend.
All that about the Cuzn Collective. See you cousins later.